Tonight, billions of people will cook dinner. Some will grill steak. Some will bake bread. Some will boil noodles. Some will fry rice. Some will roast vegetables. It's one of the most ordinary things humans do. So ordinary that we almost never stop to ask why. Now think about the last meal you ate. Was it cooked? Probably. Now think about the last meal a lion ate, or a horse, or a chimpanzee. None of them cooked a thing. That's actually incredibly strange. Humans don't just cook food. We build kitchens. We invent recipes. We argue over cooking methods. We spend hours preparing meals that most animals would simply eat raw. But here's the part almost nobody thinks about. Cooking doesn't exist in nature. There are no restaurants in the wild. No recipes. No chefs. No family dinners around a campfire. Just food. Exactly as nature made it. So, why are we different? Why did humans become the only species that transforms food before eating it? The answer begins hundreds of thousands of years ago. Long before cities, long before farming, long before history itself. Meet one of your ancestors. No supermarkets, no refrigerators, no kitchens, no recipes, just hunger and whatever nature happened to provide that day. Breakfast wasn't waiting on a table. You had to find it. And if you didn't, you simply stayed hungry. Some days, you found fruit. Other days, roots. Sometimes, insects. And if you were incredibly lucky, meat. Then imagine finding a piece of fresh meat. No knife, no fork, no barbecue, no fire. Just raw muscle. So, our ancestor takes the first bite and immediately discovers something every modern human would understand. Raw meat is hard work. Really hard work. Raw meat isn't impossible to eat. Lions do it. Wolves do it. Crocodiles do it. But there's one important difference. They were built for it. We weren't. Compared with many carnivores, human jaws are surprisingly weak. Our teeth are smaller. Our bite is weaker. And our chewing muscles are much less powerful. In fact, if you gave a modern human nothing but raw meat, they'd spend hours every single day just chewing, and chewing isn't free. Every bite costs energy. Every minute spent chewing is a minute not spent finding more food or staying alive. Then one day, something extraordinary happened. Instead of forcing their stomachs to do all the hard work, our ancestors discovered a shortcut: cooking. Because cooking is really digestion. Before you even take the first bite, think about a frozen stick of butter. It's hard, cold, difficult to spread, but leave it in the sun for a while, and it becomes soft. The butter hasn't changed into something new. It's simply become easier to work with. Cooking does something surprisingly similar to food. Heat begins breaking food apart, long before your teeth or your stomach ever get involved. In other words, the fire starts doing part of your digestive system's job. Proteins begin to unfold. Plant cells start to break apart. Starches become softer. Suddenly, your body doesn't have to work nearly as hard. That means less chewing, less digesting, less wasted energy. And something incredibly important happens whenever evolution saves energy. It spends that energy somewhere else. And that's where this story takes an unexpected turn. Your brain is incredibly expensive. Even today, it uses around 20% of all the energy your body consumes, despite making up only about 2% of your body weight. Maybe cooking didn't just change what humans ate. Maybe it helped power the biggest brain evolution had ever seen. One of the most influential ideas about this mystery comes from biological anthropologist Richard Wrangham. His proposal was surprisingly simple. Cooking gave our ancestors more usable energy, and that extra energy helps support a larger brain. Think of your body like a company. Every day, it has a limited energy budget. If one department needs less, another department can receive more. Evolution works with budgets too. Now imagine your digestive system suddenly becomes more efficient. It still does its job, but it needs less time, less effort, less energy. That leaves more energy available for something else. And your brain is always hungry. Even while you're sitting completely still, your brain is quietly consuming enormous amounts of energy. Thinking, remembering, planning, imagining, none of that comes for free. So here's the extraordinary possibility. Cooking may not have simply changed our menu. It may have helped pay the enormous energy bill for becoming human, but fire gave our ancestors something even more valuable than cooked food: time. Think about it. If every meal became easier to chew and easier to digest, that meant fewer hours spent eating and more hours left for everything else. And time changes everything. With a full stomach and a warm fire, our ancestors no longer had to spend every waking moment searching for food. For the first time, they could simply sit. That might not sound revolutionary, but imagine, hundreds of thousands of years ago, a group of humans doing absolutely nothing, together. That had almost never happened before. Maybe this is where something even more important began. Conversations, stories, teaching, planning tomorrow's hunt, sharing ideas. Not because they had extra intelligence, but because they finally had extra time. So perhaps the greatest gift fire ever gave humanity wasn't warmth. It wasn't cooked food. It wasn't even light. It was a place where people could gather, because around a fire, ideas spread almost as easily as the flames themselves. Now, let's imagine something impossible. Imagine humans never learned to cook. No campfires, no roasted meat, no warm meals, just raw food forever. Would we still be the same species? Without cooking, our ancestors would probably have needed larger teeth, stronger jaws, larger digestive systems, and much more time. Simply eating. Maybe we'd still become intelligent. Maybe we wouldn't. Scientists continue debating exactly how much cooking changed our evolution. But almost everyone agrees on one thing: cooking changed us. The only question is, how much? That's one of the most beautiful things about science. Sometimes, the answer isn't a single discovery. It's a conversation that continues across generations. Every new fossil, every new experiment, every new idea helps complete the picture. So the next time you light a stove, start a barbecue, or toast a slice of bread, remember this: you aren't just making dinner. You're repeating one of the oldest traditions that helped shape humanity itself. The story doesn't end in prehistory, not even close. Every meal you've ever eaten has been shaped by hundreds of thousands of years of cooking. You may never think about it, but your body does. Cooking didn't just change what we ate, it changed how long we sat together, how we celebrated, how we shared, how families gathered. Even today, many of our happiest memories still happen around food. In almost every culture on Earth, food became much more than fuel. It became celebration, tradition, hospitality, identity. Think about birthdays, weddings, family dinners, holiday feasts. Almost every important moment in human life has food waiting at the center of it. That probably isn't a coincidence. Maybe when humans first gathered around a fire, they weren't just cooking dinner. They were inventing the dinner table. Imagine an alien arriving on Earth with absolutely no idea what humans are. It watches for just one day. What would surprise it the most? Probably not our cities, or our cars, or even our smartphones. It would be something much simpler. Almost every human stops to cook. Morning. People cook. Lunch. People cook. Evening. People cook again. From the outside, it almost looks like cooking is one of humanity's daily rituals. Because it is. Then the alien notices something even stranger. Humans don't always cook because they're hungry. Sometimes they cook just to celebrate. Sometimes humans cook for people they've never even met before. Restaurants, street food, community kitchens, sharing meals with strangers. For millions of years, food stopped being just survival. It became connection. Maybe that's the real story. Cooking didn't simply change our bodies. It changed our relationships. It turned meals into memories and fire into one of humanity's first social networks. Tomorrow morning, someone will toast a slice of bread. Someone else will boil an egg. Someone will make coffee. Most of them won't realize they're repeating a habit older than almost every civilization on Earth. A kitchen might not seem like an extraordinary place, but if you could show it to one of your ancestors, they might think you were performing magic. Fire, available with the touch of a finger. Clean water, fresh food, every single day. We've become so used to cooking that we rarely notice it anymore. But some of humanity's greatest inventions don't feel extraordinary. They feel normal. Perhaps That's the strangest part of all. Cooking became so successful that it disappeared into everyday life. We stopped noticing it because it became part of who we are. Maybe the biggest invention in human history wasn't something we built. It was a simple idea. Take food, add fire, wait, and change the future. Let's try one final thought experiment. Imagine that tomorrow morning, every stove on Earth disappears. No ovens, no microwaves, no campfires, no boiling, no frying, no baking, just raw food. Again, breakfast suddenly becomes much harder. That crunchy toast, gone. Hot coffee, gone. Fried eggs, gone. Even something as simple as rice can't be eaten the way most of us know it. Of course, modern humans wouldn't suddenly evolve backwards overnight, but we'd quickly discover just how deeply cooking is woven into our lives, not just biologically, but socially, culturally, and emotionally. That's when you'd realize something remarkable. Cooking isn't just something humans do. It's something that quietly shaped who humans became. Maybe the greatest human invention was never the fire itself. It was the decision to gather around it. Thousands of generations have come and gone. Entire civilizations have risen and disappeared. Languages have changed. Borders have changed. Technology has changed. But every single day, humans still gather around food. Maybe that's why food means so much to us. It's never been just calories. It's comfort. It's celebration. It's memory. Sometimes it's even love. The next time someone cooks for you, pause for just a second, because that simple meal carries a story that began long before written history. Every loaf of bread, every bowl of soup, every family dinner, every barbecue, every cup of coffee, they're all connected to the same ancient flame. And perhaps the most incredible part of this story is that it isn't over. Every dinner you cook, every recipe you invent, every meal you share becomes one more tiny chapter in the longest story humanity has ever written. Maybe the greatest discoveries in history aren't always hidden inside laboratories. Sometimes they're quietly waiting inside your own kitchen, because ordinary things often have extraordinary stories. A bowl of soup, a piece of bread, a family dinner. Each one carries echoes of fires lit hundreds of thousands of years ago. The next time you cook or share a meal with someone you care about, remember this: you're taking part in one of humanity's oldest traditions. If this story made you look at your dinner a little differently, there are many more ordinary human habits hiding extraordinary stories. So if you're curious, you're always welcome here. Until next time, stay curious, because the most ordinary things humans do often have the most extraordinary stories.